All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle, two locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Kruger sent you. We're also brought to you by Aura. We'll tell you a little bit about them in a bit, but let's talk a little bit in this video about the 49ers top 30 visits. You know, you get 30 visits into your facility where you can go work out guys and actually bring them into the facility. And I think the 49ers have 4 or 5 guys that they brought in that I think there's a very good chance they draft, and they're players that I really, really like. All right, let's go through the list of the ones that we know, and then I'll get to the ones that I really, really like. One is Brandon Dorless, a defensive end from Oregon, who's 6'3", about 285. He's kind of a bigger defensive end. He's and if you look at him out of, on the hoof, as they say, out on the field, I mean, there's a lot to like. Um, he's got a 1.68 10-yard split. He's close to 290 pounds. But then when you watch the film, he lacks some production, and he lacks incredible balance. So I'm not as big a fan of Dorless as some. Some people really like Dorless, and think he's going to be a star player. Um, I don't see a star player. I see a guy who ran 4.85, 1.68 10-yard splits, not bad at 290 pounds. But they measure, but the production just isn't there. And when you watch the film, you see him playing, getting knocked off his pins. The one thing about defensive football is you got to play on your feet. You got to be upright, and he's not upright enough for me. So I'm not a big Brandon Dorless fan, but they did bring him in. Another guy they brought in who's really interesting is Trevin Wallace, the linebacker from Kentucky. And, Wallace is just ridiculously athletic, 6'1", 237 pounds, ran 4.51, 37.5-inch vertical. But then when you watch the film, the instincts just aren't there. I don't see the instincts. He's got great size and great speed, and maybe you can coach him up. But to me, playing linebacker is a lot about your instincts and your ability to flow in the right direction. I don't get that from Trevin Wallace. So even though I would draft this guy in the day 3 of the draft because of the measurables, 4.5 and 37.5-inch vert, and 6'1", 240, but the lack of instincts makes me go, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Javon Baker, another interesting name, wide receiver from Central Florida, 6'1", 205, ran 4.54 for the stopwatch, 37-inch vertical, which is great. This kid started out at Alabama and transferred, and he's got run after the catch ability. I just don't know that I see a star in the college game. I see kind of a star type player who, can run away from coverage and make all kinds of big plays. In the NFL, I think Javon Baker is more like a Kendrick Bourne. He's medium height, medium size. He's got a little, he'll produce. He's got some confidence, but he's not like your number one guy. I mean, like, he's not going to be anybody's number one wide receiver. I'll say that right out of the chute. So don't love Baker, considering he's projected to go in like the 3rd round, maybe 4th round. I don't think I would like him until like the 5th or 6th round. If he's there in the 5th or 6th round, I'd be interested. If he's not, to me, I don't see him as a 3rd round pick. All right, let's go to Malachi Corley. Niners sent a full contingent out to Western Kentucky's campus to watch the Hilltopper wide receiver, who's 5'11", 215 pounds. A lot of people make the comparison to Debo. He's a big physical wide receiver. He's got a sturdy build. He lacks some ball skills. He's not the best receiver, route runner, catcher. To me, he's a 3rd round pick who may go in the 2nd. I like him. I don't think I like him, and I think he'd be a good fit for you replacing Debo, but I don't love him. I don't love him. There's not enough explosiveness there for me. I don't see enough special traits there from Malachi Corley. Is he physical? Yeah. Does he run across the middle? Yeah. Does he have some of Debo's traits? Yeah. But he's not as dynamic as Debo was coming out of South Carolina. So I like but don't love Malachi Corley. All right, let's get to some of the guys that I really do like. I mean, Brendan Rice, Jerry's son, 6'2", 208-pound Colorado transfer, finished at USC this year, had a great productive year this year. He scored a touchdown on every 5.2 catches in his career, and had a huge touchdown season his final year at SC. I kind of like Brendan Rice. Now, I don't think Brendan Rice is super special, but if you can get him in the 4th or 5th round, I think he could have a very nice career. The one thing that you can see about Brendan Rice is that football is important to him, and he's like really, really has a lot of the nuances of the position down. So he's solid. He doesn't run a great 40 time. So if you have a bunch of possession receivers and you're looking for a vertical threat, this isn't your guy. But if you got a bunch of speed and you're looking for somebody to move the chains, this is your guy. I see kind of a Jawan Jennings type player. Makes plays down the field. He's got great hands. His route running is very important to him. It's very polished. I think this is a good player. I think it's pretty clear this kid has worked at his game, and I like what I see. So I kind of like Brendan Rice. All right, let's get into the guys I really like. Chow Smith Wade, the corner from Wazoo, 5'10", 185 pounds, 4.54 speed for the stopwatch, but he's got great ball skills. He's got an elite burst, and he's a killer competitor. So I like this player. I would take this player on day 3 and be really, really happy that I was adding him to my secondary. He's not big. As I said, he's 5'10", 185, and the stopwatch speed is just marginal. But when you flip on the tape and you watch the kid, the ball skills that he possesses are incredible. He's a great competitor. He's got a burst where he's faster than he runs for the stopwatch when the ball's in the air. So I really like Chow Smith Wade. Now, I like him as a depth piece at corner on day 3, but I like him. I definitely like him. All right, let's get to the 3 guys that I like the most. And I'm almost, I really like these guys a lot. Let's start with Marshawn Nealand, who's an edge rusher from Western Michigan, 6'3", about 270, ran 4.75. This kid played tight end in high school, and he's just got a great motor and heavy hands. And I like what I see. I could see this guy being a very good pass rusher in the NFL. 2 years from now, when he has some moves and he's got some technique, and you're still got that 4.75 40, which is pretty decent, and the motor and the hands, and just he keeps coming. I like Marshawn Nealand. Now, what round? Probably 3rd or 4th round, maybe 5th. He's a mid-round pick, but there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like there, and he's a tough kid. And stayed at Western Michigan, could have left. I kind of like what I'm seeing from Marshawn Nealand. All right, let's get to the 2 guys that the Niners brought in on 30 visits that I absolutely would love to see them draft. One is Sione Vaki, who's a safety from Utah, who's an Antioch kid. He actually went to Liberty High School in Brentwood. 5'11", 210, ran 4.62. Sadly, this kid lost his mother to cancer earlier in his life, and he's had to go through this whole thing. I mean, without a parent, that's a tough thing. And he's a running back as well as a safety. He's not just a safety. He's like a backup running back, and he's got good power, good elusiveness. He's faster than you think. He's competitive as hell, works hard. The Niners are looking for safety help, and this guy would be nice. No question about it. And he's a day 3 pick. I would say he's a 5th round pick, but I love him. He's very competitive at the catch point, hitter, tone setter. Obviously is in his film because he'll read and react and get up the field and make plays against the run. Really like what I'm seeing out of Sione Vaki. If I were the Niners, I would definitely go try to draft this kid. And number one, the guy that I absolutely would love to see the 49ers get off their top 40 visit list is Jamal Hill, who played safety. He played linebacker at Oregon. He's 6 feet, about 225. He's kind of like what the Niners like in their linebackers. He's from Rex, Georgia, and he moved from defensive back to linebacker, inside linebacker this year in 2023. He had 3 tackles and a tackle for a loss in the Fiesta Bowl. But I mean, when you watch this kid, I mean, he's just moving at a different speed. He's got a 40-inch vert. He runs 4.4. That 4.4 time would have been the second best time of any linebacker in Indy. So he runs exceptionally well. Now, is he a safety? I don't know. I mean, he's at 226 pounds. It's almost like he's outgrown safety. He's more of a linebacker, but I just love the way this kid plays. He attacks with physicality. He's a hitter. He's a big playmaker. He had an amazing interception earlier this year that was deemed Oregon's play of the year. But man, when you see those traits, he's 6'1" at 2.25, or 6 feet at 2.25, and he's running 4.4 with a 40-inch vert. And then there's production there as well. Man, Jamal Hill. I mean, that get me some Jamal Hill. The interesting thing is when you look at the mock drafts, he's mocked, as an undrafted free agent. I think he's probably going to go in the 5th round or 6th round. But man, this is a sleeper player. If they can get Jamal Hill, and it's a common name, so who knows if he'll get the attention. Sometimes, believe it or not, your name sometimes has an impact on things. But Jamal Hill, tremendous player. I love him. When you can combine the 4.4 speed, the 40-inch vertical, the production, he switched positions in the first year. He was still good at linebacker. This guy can play. He's an athlete. Oregon got this kid to leave Georgia to come west. And, to me, he's a star. I think that kid's a star. He's a starter at linebacker, or he could be, a starter at safety. I really like Jamal Hill. And if they get to day 3 and they've made a couple picks, this is the guy to dust off the card and get it up there as soon as possible. He might even be worth trading back in the draft and accumulating a few more day 3 picks just so you can take a couple players like this. Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? How does he fit? I don't know. All I know is he's 6 feet, 220 and 225, and he's got a 40-inch vert and 4.4 speed and awesome playmaking ability. So there you go. Those are the 30 visits. The guy that I would want most is Jamal Hill, then Sione Vaki, then Marshawn Nealand, then Rice's kid, Brendan Rice, and then probably Malachi Corley or Chow Smith Wade, somewhere in there. Not big fans of Brandon Dorlus, not a big fan of Trevin Wallace. Javon Baker, I think, will be overdrafted. So there you go. The top 30 visits from the Niners. There's some good ones. There's some not good ones, but remember that name on draft day, Jamal Hill, safety / linebacker, Oregon. If the Niners get Jamal Hill, you heard it here first. That guy, tremendous athlete, and I think a real force on defense going forward. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Marin Autoglass as well. And now a word from our sponsor, Aura. Have you ever typed your name on the internet and seen all of your private information is online? Are you tired of receiving tons of spam calls from random numbers? Are you receiving more and more of these as time has gone on? Well, that's where Aura, the sponsor of today's show, can really help you out. Data brokers sell your information to scammers and spammers and anyone else who may want to target you. Your full name, your email, your home address, all your records, your health records, who your relatives are. It's all out there. That's why I've been using Aura. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use the information to help them access my social media accounts, my bank accounts, or any other sensitive information. Aura also does so much more to protect me and my family from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up. And best of all, I get everything at one affordable price. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to the link in the description to start your 2-week free trial. And thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video as well. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.